Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web-based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, again, we're still continuing with talking about what is going on in the world, or more closely in this country right now. And we know that a lot of us are experiencing a great deal of anger, and rightfully so. I understand. It makes perfect sense that people are angry. I understand why people are angry. And we can't deny that there is reason for people to be angry. But what we need to look at is what we're doing with that anger, because anger is one of those things where anger is energy. It can be used for one of two ways. It can be used to make a positive change, or it can be used to tear you down. So that's why today we're going to talk about 5 reasons it's important to take the time and address and deal with your anger in order for us to be able to more productively go forward. First is the health implications. Anger eats you out from it. Anger is killing you from the inside. Anger will kill you from the inside. There are so many different health implications, including things like high blood pressure, with which many of us already suffers from, the increase in anxiety and stress, which does a whole bunch of different things to your body. When you're dealing with anger, your self-care is not as good as it can be. So poor self-care will also lead you to making decisions that lead to other poor health outcomes. So it's important that if for no other reason, it's important that we take the time and deal with the anger that we're experiencing in order to safeguard our physical health, if for no other reasons. But I have 4 more, you know me. 2, it impacts our relationships with other people, with everyone actually. When we're angry, our decisions, our behaviors are going to be centered or colored by that anger that you're feeling, meaning that it makes you a little bit more testy with your family. It makes you a little bit more testy with your friends. It makes you a little bit more edgy. It impacts and can cause damage to relationships that you may want to preserve. When we're angry, things don't sound the same way. There are things that we may let go. And I've mentioned this in previous videos, that sometimes when we're not all right, when we're not good, things that we may let go in normal situations, we will not let go. They will be received as a much bigger thing. They will be felt as a much bigger thing. It does not work. Anger escalates. Anger elevates the gravity of everything that we may experience, that we may be dealing with. So because of that, for the sake of our relationships with the people we love, with other people in our lives, with the people we need to help us with whatever agenda we want to put forth, for the sake of our relationships, it's important to take the time and deal with our anger. 3, anger makes holding on to anger, not just being angry, but holding on to anger, makes you more vulnerable, because you're so busy taking the time to harness and keep and safeguard and deal and hold on to that anger, that it makes you vulnerable to making those decisions that can make things worse. It makes you more prone to those decisions. It puts you in a better position to be easily targeted or influenced by situations or people who may want to take advantage of that anger. It's so much easier to get you to do things that you may not otherwise want to do. It's so much easier to get you to have that reaction that may be out of character, that maybe if you think about it, that you might not do. It's so much easier to get for those things to happen when you're busy holding on to anger. So because of that, just to come from that space of power, from that space of empowerment, it's important to be able to take the time and deal with the anger so that you're in greater control, so that you're the one that's controlling your behavior instead of the anger or anyone else who wants to use or manipulate your anger for their purpose or whatever it is that they may want to do with it. So because of that vulnerability, it's important that we take the time to deal with our anger. 4, it colors how you think. Again, I mentioned how you can be more easily influenced, but you can think so much more clearly when you've taken the time to take control of your emotions, to take control of the anger. You can think more clearly. You have the time, you have the opportunity, you have the space to decide, okay, this is what I want to do. This is how I want to move forward. These are the decisions that will make a difference. These are the things that we should be doing. It gives you, when you take the time to deal with your anger, you're in a better position to make those decisions. It helps you think clearly enough that you can see the difference between an impulsive decision versus an empowered decision. It puts you in the position where you're making decisions. That's the better. When you take the time to deal with your anger, you can be in a position when you're thinking clearly enough that you're making the decisions instead of having your anger make the decisions for you. Finally, you're in a better position to use the energy more productively. Again, I said that anger is energy. When we're angry, when you're angry, when you're really angry, you have energy. You can do things. You feel like you can move mountains. You could lift cars and do all sorts of stuff. But that anger, that energy, if you can use it productively, is more likely to yield the longer term results. Because when you're angry and you're acting in anger, you can do things that, maybe you can do things. Maybe you can break things. Right now, people are breaking and causing all sorts of chaos. But at the end of the day, you leave a trail of chaos, but you don't have any results. But if you take the time and you deal with your anger, that way you can come back to the table and say, hey, these are the things that we want to do. And I'm going to put all that energy, all that anger that I have, I'm going to put all that anger energy into working towards a solution. I'm going to use all that energy to build something as opposed to allowing the anger to cause you to tear things down. Because if you tear things down, at the end of the day, you have a mess. But if you are able to use that energy positively, productively, you still have all that juice is there, except that at the end of the day, you have whatever it is that you build, whether it's just a framework or if it's some change that you've managed to make. But it's easier to use that anger energy productively once you have taken the time to address and deal with the anger. Okay, quick recap. 1, the health implications. Anger will kill us from the inside out if we don't just take the time and deal with that anger and let it out and figure out a way to get rid of to deal with the emotion so that we can use the energy from that anger to do something productive. 2, it impacts our relationships with everyone. That includes the people we love and the people we may need. Like the people you love will probably be the first to get it, because when you're angry, they're the first people you'll probably blow up at, and they had nothing to do with the situation. So, and some of the people are people that we need, that people that will help us make the changes that we need. So we need to be able to be in control of our anger, be in control of our emotions, so that we're not hurting people around us, people who are helping us, people that we love, people we don't want to hurt. 3, it makes us so much more vulnerable to and more prone to making decisions that can make things worse. And it creates a situation where other people and other situations or influences can use that energy, can use our anger to make us do things that we may not otherwise want to do or we may not normally do. So it makes you more vulnerable to influence and to outside stimulus. So 4, you can think more clearly when you deal with your anger. When you are in control, when you take the time and manage or control and get a hold of your anger, then you're in better position to think clearly, make better decisions, do the things that you want. You're in a better position to be the one that's guiding the decision as opposed to the anger guiding your decisions or your actions. And finally, you are in a much better position to use your anger, the energy from your anger productively once you have taken the time to deal with or get a hold of that anger, because anger is energy. You will have loads of energy. Right now, we all have a lot of energy that we're dealing with, that we're faced with. So the sooner, the quicker we can take the time to deal with the emotional piece of it, more quickly we'll be able to start using it productively to do something to help the situation. As always, if you or someone else you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that even right now when so many things are so chaotic, there are professionals like myself who provide remote services who are available, able, and willing to help with whatever you may have going on. So please make sure that you're taking the time and figuring out who those people are in your community so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.